I'm doing very well. It always warms my heart that we get to come out into the community. We have our Lauderdale police. We call it Coffee with a Cop. There's always been tensions between trust between the residents and the police officers, but here in Lauderdale, we're trying to build that trust, and we do that by having events just as these, Coffee with a Cop, where you can come out, meet the chief of police, meet your detectives, meet all the officers. Then it makes it easier when there's things going on that you've already met these officers before, that you can know that they care about the community.
Okay, in terms of care about the community, there's a lot of I saw the loss of cameras is what is the plan?
Yeah, so it's always like a cat and mouse game where the criminals are always constantly changing up their tactics, and police, we always got to respond differently to the new tactics that they're using. It's going to be, I think, a challenge continuing in the future because inflation is going up, cost of living is going up, and as the struggle becomes more and more for our community, sometimes they tend to commit some crimes and fraud and try to find a way to stay alive and to take care of their families. So some of the things that we're doing, so my colleagues have some programs where we take care of them, we try to help them get jobs, we try to find out what are the impediments or the barriers for them getting the jobs they need to get or getting access to the finances that businesses. So what we do is we have small group discussions. One of our colleagues, Commissioner Dunn, she has a health and prosperity plan. She has a business plan where we invite the residents and we find out what their issues are and we try to help them resolve so that it's less and less residents that have to resort to fraud or other criminal activities to maintain their households.
When you say invite the residents, where do they go and how do they get in touch with you guys?
So we typically advertise on Facebook or online. We host our meetings typically at the City Hall or one of our community parks or at a performing arts center, our workshops. So we'll advertise well in advance. Usually it's about once a quarter, and then they can come out to those events, sign up, and they can get assistance.
Okay, not to get involved with a political situation, but it's also impairment because we have an election coming up shortly. Are you a part of this election?
Yes, November 2024, the city is made up of 4 commissioner seats and 1 mayor. All 5 seats will be up for election come next year, November 2024, and that includes myself as well.
Okay. Presently, the previous mayor will no longer be there. Are you one of those that's seeking the mayorship?
No, I'm not the one seeking mayorship. I am continuing to be reelected as a commissioner. The mayor served out his last term, his last 2 years. He is termed out, so he is retiring. And there are 2 other commissioners and probably some yet to still get in that race, but I myself am not running for mayor. I'm running just for reelection as a city commissioner.
How long have you been in the Lauderdale neighborhood, and what is the read of the plans for the citizens of Lauderdale?
I've served as commissioner here for the past 3 years. We have 1 more year for this current term and then get reelected in November 2024 for a 4-year term. And what we've done since I've been elected, our fire department has increased its rating, ISO rating, from 2 to a 1. That helps lowers people's insurance, homeowners insurance in our city. We've done a lot of redevelopment. We approved one of our first major redevelopment projects, the largest one probably in the last 15 to 20 years. That's new homes, new apartments going up, Commercial Boulevard and University Drive. We have about 3 other major projects that are ongoing. We have secured the land near our Lauderdale Performing Arts Center that we plan to redevelop. We've done a lot of good work. We've increased our police department staff. They became 100% staff, which is the first time probably in about 20 years. We've done a lot of good things to attract and retain good quality people. We've received grants. We improved our infrastructure and our floods. We've reduced our flooding in our areas better than it has ever been.
Okay, last 2 questions for you. There's 2 parcels of land that I've been looking at for years. One is at 44th the Jewish Center. The second one is a golf course at Rock Island. What are the plans for those?
You said 44th and where?
44 in where the Jewish Center is?
Yes. So the Jewish Center owns that land, and the Jewish Center in the past was planning to put a assisted living facility there. I think those plans have been put on hold, but that land is owned by the Jewish community. The golf course, I have an temporary steering committee that we meet once a quarter. Our next meeting is October 11th, where we discuss the future and our plans for the golf course. Currently, it is under contract. We have created a group with the Inverary community to look to either do a public-private partnership to either purchase the golf course from its current owner and redevelop it ourselves through the community, or partner with the developer and work together to see what we can develop, what is feasible for both sides.
Sounding good, sounding good. I'm proud to be a resident of Florida Hill for the past 23 years.
Awesome.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Keep on doing what you're
Thank you
doing.
for having me.
Right.
All
You're
right.
blessed.
Thank you. Be blessed.
You're blessed. Commissioner Ray Martin, Vice Mayor from Lord Hill. And as he said, you are the citizens of this great community. So you need to voice your opinion. And I say when they have meetings at the town hall, you need to be there. And you need to voice and you need to say what you want to say. Because you own this piece of land. And they are your representative. And if they're doing their best, then you ought to do your very best. Once again, you're live and direct on iReTime.com, your family-friendly station. Mitch is my name, and that's the only way that I know what to do. And we have a beautiful young lady that's coming your way, and I think it's going to be the chief of police. Yeah, the chief of police is going to be here with me, and I'm going to take the time and shake her hand once more. How are you doing, Chief Stanley? Bless it. Oh, the dog is coming. Oh, the dog is coming, Chief. You see what just happened in Pennsylvania some time ago with that dog. Good morning, Chief. How are you?
Good morning. Doing great, thank you.
Chief, I think this is the second time for me covering this. I'm pretty familiar with you from the Lord Hill Police Station. And you've been a chief for how long?
8 years now.
8 years?
Yes.
Wow, how time flies outside. What is the plan for the Lord Hill in terms of crime and all of this?
Well, an example, we're doing these events. I think networking with the community to get the community to provide us with information that we may not have otherwise. So, again, just getting out there, getting information from the community, and then having officers respond and address. We definitely want to be proactive, so we can continue to get the community's commitment and involvement. It really takes a concerted effort from all angles to try and address the crime problems.
What is the plans for the police in Lord Hill right now? Because I think you have increased your numbers tremendously. What are all the plans?
Yes, we have. We actually have specialized units. So we have a unit that targets, a problematic area where there's loitering or issues that bring about some concern to the community. We have them focus on those issues. And what we're also trying to encourage people to, if you see something, say something. A lot of times we get information on crime, but people are reluctant in reporting it. So we just want everyone to be vigilant, and if we can get their cooperation, get them to, report crime if they do see or say something, then that would help us be able to solve and address crimes.
Okay, the neighborhood has been, I would say, dormant for a number of years before you got in. And not to my good friend who you took over from. He did his very best, and we can see massive improvements. Pipe right here used to be one of the crime areas, and it has changed drastically. What make it change so much from the police force?
Just, again, the community's involvement, and I think that, the officers conducting the extra patrols, talking to people in the community, just to clear those areas out, where I know this store was one where a lot of kids used to gather and fight, And we just conducted, random, continuous patrols. We talked to the kids involved. We got with the Sunrise Police Department and just had a concerted effort to make sure that we make sure the kids were not engaged in any activities that they shouldn't be, and that really cut down on the fights occurring at the store.
The Black Association used to be very active too. Are you guys still involved in the Black Association?
Are you referring to Noble National
Yes,
Organization?
Black Association.
Yes, if it's Noble that you're referring to, I know Noble does a lot in the community. I am a member of Noble, so there are activities, there are things that they're doing. They're pushing information out, to the community as far as crime is concerned. So partnering with any organization who's about that is great. So we'll continue that.
Some years ago, I was privileged to take the course at the police station. Is it still in progress now? And if it is, how do they get about doing this?
So we do have that program. It's our Citizens Observer Patrol, Citizens Police Academy. So it's a 10-week course. I think it provides information to the residents, people in the community who want to be involved. We do have, they meet once a week, and then we have different instructors or officers come in and provide some information to the people attending the course. So I think it's very beneficial. It gives people an understanding of how police operate, what we do. They get a chance to learn the system and ask questions as they have. We give them tours of the facility, take them out to certain areas in the city, such as traffic. And then those who complete the course, if they want to become observers for the city, we welcome that. They're allowed to come in anytime to volunteer their services, to include patrolling the city as well, and just making notes of anything that they see that's out of line.
I am a member of one of the churches on Oakland Park, and we have to go out and get security because a number of churches have been robbed or have been held up. What is the plans for the churches especially?
It's good that you asked that question. We actually have a plan coming up. One of our commissioners, Commissioner Grant, is putting together a program. We had it back in 2021, and it's to talk about a security plan. So we're waiting to get some feedback from the churches to see what issues or concerns they have. But what we do offer also is we have a service where we can go out to the churches, assess their church to find out if there are any weak spots and what they can do to make the church safe. So we do have that coming up very soon. I believe it's October 5th. We'll be discussing with the pastors. It'll be right at our city hall and just going over security concerns and answering questions that they may have. So I encourage those pastors who may be interested or want the information. It's free. We've been more than happy to provide that. So we'll continue to address whatever the needs of the church the needs are, just to make sure that they're safe, they feel safe, the members of the organization feel safe, because this is a place of worship and people should feel safe, going to church.
Okay, last question for you, Chief. How does the citizen of Lauderdale get involved and know what's happening within the police community in Lauderdale?
So just what you said, getting engaged, being one of our students in our Citizens Police Academy, coming out to our Coffee with the Cop events. We do have another one coming up in Central. It'll be at the 7-Eleven. That's next month. But just coming out, not being afraid to talk to us. We get quite a bit of information at these events, but just being engaged. Everybody has to play their role, and we're here for support. We're in it, together. And I tell people that this is not my police department, is there. So, we're all part of that same team.
See something, say something.
Yes, absolutely.
Chief, I want to thank you so much, and good luck in everything that you do. All right? You're welcome. All right. Chief Stanley. Yeah, Chief Stanley from the Lauderdale Police Department here in Lauderdale. A fabulous young lady, and she has been chief for the past 8 years, and she have done tremendously well in the community. Crimes have been reduced. The kids are on a different level right now. The neighborhood is feeling a little bit much safer than it used to be. So we want you to be involved in what's happening in the community. So find out from the community, Lord Hill Police, how you can get involved in their activities. I implore you to do this because I took the test some years ago and I feel much safer because I have an idea what to do. If you should be involved in a situation like this, you're protecting yourself, you're protecting your neighborhood, and most of all, you're protecting the children, and you're also protecting the future of your neighborhood. Lord Hill, a thriving community, one of the best, I would say. So come on out, enjoy it. We're live and direct from the Wawa at the corner of 44th and University right now in Hill. What a blessing it is to come out to the community and to be active in whatever is going on here. You're live and direct on ArryTime.com, your family-friendly station. Why don't you call a friend, invite a friend to see what's going on if they are not in the community. You come on out to be a part of this. There's a coffee hour at Wawa, provided by Wawa for your enjoyment, your fun. I want to thank ArryTimes.com also for making this possible, where wherever you are, you can view, you can see, and you can hear. Mitch is my name from the sunny side of South Florida. A wonderful morning to you. A warm morning here in the Lord Hill area. It's still in the 90s right now. It's pretty warm, but I'm enjoying the moment of this because before you know it, we get cold again. So once again, we say good morning, good morning, good morning. And again, we are live at the Wawa at the corner of 44th and University. I say good morning again, and Mitch is my name. You ought to know by now. I enjoy the camaraderie in the neighborhood. So just be good. If you can't be good, be careful. And we have another officer right here with us. Officer Lawrence is your name?
Yes.
I want to say good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
And how are you this morning?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Beautiful day.
You are a member of the Lord Hill Police for how long?
I've been here about 26 years, 41 years in. It's been a good ride. I'm with the reserve program now. So I retired and came back in the reserve program.
Okay. When you say the reserve, though, explain a little bit for those who have no idea what it's all about.
The reserve program is basically a program where you're still in law enforcement, you're still a certified law enforcement officer, but you have to do so many hours, and you still have to give community support, and you come out and you deal with ride on the road, do what you need to do as a normal officer would do. We're sanctioned under certain criteria, but we still have arrest jurisdiction, we still meet with community resources, we still do everything we need to do as a normal facilities as a normal law enforcement officer.
Okay. You said you've been here for 26 years? Yes. Describe for me the changes from then to now, what you have seen.
It's a totally, I mean, the technology just alone is phenomenal. To see what we used to come in years ago as to you graduating to the different type of even vehicles we have, the different type of computers, just everything, the technology is totally different. And again, with that comes change. It comes, the different type of atmosphere you're dealing with. So community, as far as community policing and getting out in the community and being from what we call the old form of policing, I'm used to getting out with the community and meeting, and going in the community and shaking hands with a lot of people and getting to know a lot of new residents. And I found that has worked since the time, I don't care how the change comes, that just drastically worked since the time of era. So when you go in and you meet different people and you socialize and you just be a part of, they don't look at you as an officer, they look at you as one of the community people. And even when I'm in a mall or different places like that, they come up and hug you and embrace you, and it makes you feel good.
Modern technology has changed the world. Has it changed anything for the police per se?
It has. It has enhanced our abilities to know certain things. It has enhanced our ability to do our job in a performance where we could do it, most effectively and efficiently, as opposed to have to wait and make phone calls. And, the resources are there. So technology has played a vital part in the way we police now today.
I witnessed something in Pennsylvania recently with an escape criminal. And he was caught basically, I'm going to say in the jungle, with an altar red from the helicopter up there.
Okay.
Do we have anything like that or plan to have anything like that in the neighborhood?
Well, first of all, being a local municipality, we utilize Broward Sheriff's Office if they have to have helicopters. So they're more enhanced on that to answer that question. But our resources link out to them, and they serve as a liaison for most of the agencies don't have the air capabilities.
Extremely. Okay. What is the plans really beyond policing at the station for the neighborhood?
Our plans. I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Police.
Well, first of all, it has to start with the head, and our chief is very energetic about the community. I've been with her since her tenure here, and she is committed to do whatever it takes in going forth and moving the community and the needs of the community, and just the needs not only of the community but as the police department in general. So, with that said, and moving forward, every time there's a homeowners association that feel the needs, because I think the homeowners associations are very vital because they speak for the community and whatever the community. If they don't speak, we don't know. And of course, if we don't know, what more can we do to make it better? So I think the communication gap is to make sure we maintain the HOA community, make sure we get more community involvement, and you know what? Make sure we hear what people have to say when just to stop and have a conversation. You'll be surprised at the number of things that people could tell you and say, hey, this is something that is a concern. So there's mechanism and there's units in place to handle that particular problem. The saddest thing I hate as a person of the community is even in my own community where I live, is an officer to come and say there's nothing we can do about it. Well, if we can't, give us the resources that can, and I think that is vitally important.
Okay, so the voice of the people speaks then, and you act.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. That's what your tax money pays for, and that's what our job is to do. Okay, serve and protect.
Serve and protect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I normally don't sing because when I sing, they want me to go place and sing for nothing. So I'm going to say to you, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Officer Lawrence. Happy birthday to you. I'm not going to ask you how old you are.
Well, here's the thing. I just talked about how we need to listen to the community efforts. So you sung and I listened, and I thank you for it.
Have a good one, sir. Come back now. I enjoy that moment. Oh, here comes one of my best friend, Officer. Can I still call you Officer?
Absolutely.
Officer Debbie.
How
How are you this morning?
I am doing so well. I'm so honored to be here today. It brings me back to the good old days of working with Lauderdale Police and just being with the community. Yes.
But you retired from the police, right?
Doesn't seem that way. But yes, I technically retired 5 years ago. Although I'm retired, I'm working harder now because community has always been in my blood. So I continue to advocate for the city of Lauderdale and just the community in general.
I asked the commissioner a question.
Yes.
The changes in the neighborhood over the past few years, because she's been here 8 years.
Yes.
And there's marked improvement. You have been here too, and you were here on the streets.
Yes.
What is the changes and what bring about most of these changes within the police and the community?
Well, thank you. That's a great question. So one of the changes I see is that the commission, the mayor, that they're even more involved now than ever with all of the homeowners association. They're learning more of what the community's needs are. The community gets to share, and when we get to share, they get to listen. And for instance, like just the simple water pads that get put in, lighting in the street, coming out to places like Wawa, even doing something what we call a TED survey, which is crime prevention through environmental design. So it's been a really nice change. We're definitely, not the way it was back when I first moved here in 1985. We're definitely much more culturally diverse, and it's really important that we need to understand that we're all so much alike. right? We're all so much alike, and that's the beauty of it all, that we're a melting pot in our beautiful city of Lauderdale.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, you continue doing what you're doing. And you know, I've always loved you. And my
Thank
wife said hi to you, Officer Debbie.
My pleasure.
Always, always. Thank you so much. All right? Okay. Officer Debbie Bonner from the Lord Hill Police Station. She has retired from active service over the past 5 years, but she's very prevalent and very active in the community here in Lord Hill. So we need you to reach out to these officers because every time they go out, it's for your protection. Yeah? Yeah. So be friendly with them. Join the Black Association within your neighborhood. In this vicinity, it used to be Veterans Park. It's right now here located at 82nd and 44th. So come on out to the Wawa at 44th, definitely, and the University. A coffee break. It's a wonderful afternoon. It's a warm afternoon, and it's great to have you on ArrowTimes.com. Join the force. Make it happen in your neighborhood. You know, if crime is one of the main issues in your neighborhood, do not be afraid to go down to the Lord Hill Police Station that's located on Oakland Park Boulevard and lodge whatever you see is wrong in your neighborhood. They will make the corrections. You see the kids out on the street sometimes, protect them, help them. You see them in the park, work with them. Just don't ignore what is happening in your neighborhood. And once again, I say good morning to you and welcome to ArrowTimes.com. Mitch is my name, and definitely you know that we are alive and well on ArrowTimes.com. Local neighborhood. What a beautiful. Oh, I am seeing a fabulous young lady, Sergeant Thomas. Wow, wow. Good morning to you, sir.
Morning, good morning.
And how are you this morning? You're looking so fine.
Thank you. I'm really good, really good.
What's that beautiful smile on your face all for?
I love being here. This is my city, Lauderhill. I'm born and raised Lauderhill. So anything related to Lauderhill, getting us back in with the community, getting us close with everyone, I'm excited for it.
How long have you been with the police force?
5 years.
Straight from school, right?
Yes.
Straight from school. Wow, wow, wow. So you're born and grew in this neighborhood, you said, right?
Yes.
What is the changes you've seen? Did you go to Piper also?
No, I went to Stranahan.
Stranahan.
I went to Lauderhill, Paul Turner, and that's in the community. I also went to Parkway Middle School. So as I'm seeing a lot of changes as far as we're having a larger demographic of people move in, it's very diverse. The diversity is changing, which is very good because it's giving new opinions and new ideas are being brought into the city. So it's for a positive change what we're seeing so far.
And speaking to some of the police officers, Piper High School used to be a trouble spot many years ago. There were all kinds of things happening. A lady came in, I think her name was Miss Velez back then. She's no longer there, but it has been a change school. What do you think caused all of this?
So Piper is actually not one of our schools. That's Sunrise's school. So on the end of what we're seeing is we're having less fights, less problems on our side of the street. But the actual inner working of the school, we don't know exactly what's going on because we don't have any SROs. That's Sunrise's jurisdiction. But I know for on our side, as far as the parks, we're not having kids congregate in the parks to do, fights or anything anymore. So that has been very helpful. And, we're not putting as many resources to go, trying to break up these fights in the middle of the day while we have other calls for service. So whatever they're doing over there, it's helping. Yeah, it's working. She's on the right path. So, yes.
What is the future that you see for Lauderdale in the future?
I see a lot of growth here. Growth, as you know, we just built the new high-rise off of University and Commercial, so that's going to bring new people in. For the most part, just growth. Growth and us making our police department larger so that we can serve more people. We can make sure our calls for service are handled in a timely manner. It's more so just the growth, the diversity of the growing of, different people coming in and like a melting pot. Like we get a view from everyone and we take it and make the city better to, fit for everyone's needs.
Okay. As a young lady, though, with modern technology, I think I've asked this question before. With modern technology, how do you see the Lauderdale Police moving forward?
Modern technology, as of right now, I feel as though we're doing good as far as environmental technology. We brought in as far as we have fingerprint scanners. We have everything that the other agencies have. So as things become available, if they're beneficial to our department, we test it out. We see what other agencies have. Hey, if I have to call this other agency to see how this works, if that works good for them, it may be something we like, and we'll put in and let our chief know. Hey, we'll let our chief know this is something that we're interested in. So a lot of our technology advances based off of the needs for specifically our city, because sometimes other agencies have things that we don't need and it wouldn't benefit us. So we pretty much go based off of what fits our needs.
Okay. The citizens see something, say something. How is that working for the police force?
It's the same pretty much across the board. Just what it says. If someone sees something, we hope that they say something. We have a lot of calls that come in, and they're anonymous calls. And sometimes we don't need your name. We just want you to say, hey, come in this area and check this out because X, Y, and Z is going on, and it's worrying us. And we'll show up. We'll look at it. We'll check it out. But we won't know unless someone does say something. So I don't care if I have your name or not. What I want is for you to put in that call and say, hey, this is what's going on. This is worrying me. This is concern. We'll assess what's going on, and we'll go from there. But the biggest thing is saying something. If we don't have people to speak up, we can't solve the problem. And I tell people all the time, this is your community. You have to live here. So your voice, you saying something is the biggest thing that'll get our ball rolling for, us to better the community. But we can't better it if the people living in the community don't want to kind of help us, like, hey, this is what's going on. Or we're not saying raise your hand and always be the one to say, like, yeah, this is, but give us something to work with. And we'll do our best on our end to alleviate whatever problems they may be.
In other words, clean my house and you will help me to finish the job.
Yes.
Sergeant, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Keep on doing what you're doing, all right?
you.
Okay. We just have a brilliant young lady from the police force here in Lauderdale. And we're encouraging you to be a part of what's going on here. iReturn.com, your family-friendly station. Mitch is my name, and we're live from the Wawa right here in Lauderdale, at the corner of 441 and University. Love what's going on, so you should love it. Be a part of your neighborhood. And once again, I have a young man here beside me here. Look pretty familiar. I say good morning to you, sir. And how are you doing, sir?
Very well.
And
I thought you were singing for a while. I was waiting to
I'm waiting for my check and it doesn't come in yet, so I get paid first before I work. Once again, good morning, sir. And what's your name, sir?
Dr. Falloon Reed. I'm the president of the Lauderdale Chamber of Commerce, which is just across the street from here. Yes.
Say the Lauderdale Chamber of Commerce. Tell the public out there, what is the benefit of the Lauderdale Chamber of Commerce?
The benefit of the Lauderdale Chamber of Commerce, in fact, almost any Chamber of Commerce, one of the basic benefits is bringing the business community together, creating a space for them to interact, connect, share ideas, combine their voices so that they can be represented as far as the city goes, as far as policies go, as well as a place to educate themselves, teach each other best practices, and do business. So the Chambers has always been that kind of an ecosystem, and that's something we strive to do here at the Lauderdale Chamber of Commerce.
And how long have you been a member with us?
I have been a member for about 4 years now, 5 years as a matter of fact this year, since 1919, 18 rather. And then I've been president for 2 years. I'm hoping to retire that position as soon as my term ends, but it's been a good opportunity to meet people like yourself, meet the service personnel in the city, the chief of police, and other business people, on a regular basis. We have a monthly networking event that allows us to do that.
How involved are the merchants in the neighborhood, though?
You'll always find that we maybe capture about 5% of businesses that we interact with. Now, we have a database of 3,000, over 3,000. So we're pushing information out. But everybody's trying to make that dollar. So people are engaged, trying to get their business going, but at least they know we're here. We have a membership of about 185, I believe. And it's a renewal, there's a membership. And we provide certain benefits for being a member, mentoring, marketing, networking and so forth. So, that's kind of where we are with that.
Okay, so those are some of the changes that you intend to bring forth more than it previously was.
Indeed, indeed. Growth is important. If anything is going to survive, you have to grow. So we're trying to grow the membership. You'll find that because of the internet being now the way of doing business, people prefer to be, almost going, remote, if you wish. And so we do have some of those trainings when people can just jump on the computer, jump into a meeting. But we prefer that person-to-person meeting, which we create opportunities for on an evening most months of the year.
So are your office open for visitors or people come in?
It is. We're open Monday through Thursday, 9 through 5:30. And people can come in and use the space. They can come in and meet, have business meetings. They can come in and get information. They can come in and get help. Even if it's not business related. Last week we sat with someone to fill out a form. So we're here for the community as well as for individual businesses.
Okay, you want to give your address where you're located?
Yes, it's 4300 North University Drive, suite number D203. And it's right at the corner of 44th and University. And the number is 754-206-4206. Of course, the best way to reach us is on the web, which is lauderdalecoc.org. And we have able staff there that will respond to any queries, and I'm always available. They can reach out to me as well.
All right, sir. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks for all you do.
You're certainly welcome. You have a good one now. All right, guys. And that's another news that we need to know. That's something that we need to know and understand what's happening in our neighborhood. The Chamber of Commerce is valuable. They are here for you. And you ought to be a part of what's going on in your community. Be a part of the community. And if you do that, then certainly your neighborhood will make a difference. I see a little young man here. I got to tell you, though, he's just a little bit. Come on over here. Stand beside me because I thought I was the shortest one here, but you beat me to this.
Growing up in Brooklyn, in New York, you know how they used to size up and line them up. I was always first in line from first grade to fifth grade. I was always the first on.
And what neighborhood in Brooklyn this was?
Canarsie.
So you did not go to a restaurant, right?
No, I went to 251. Junior high school was Roy H. Mann, and South Shore was my high school. Then I moved upstate New York to Monticello, and then in '04 I moved down to Florida.
Okay. You weren't one of those racehorse jockeys up in Monticello.
They always told. I knew a lot of the jockeys because I used to go to Monticello racetrack all the time. In the summertime, they had great concerts there that they used to put on. But everyone used to tell me, that's what you need to do. You're the perfect height. And I was skinny then, so I was the perfect weight. And it was great, but I never did. I got to know a lot of them. And I probably could have followed up on that, but I never did. Because I'm an artist by trade, a portrait artist. I work with the retired Harlem Globetrotters. I do a lot of their portraits. Shaquille O'Neal is my biggest fan. I did his portrait. Dr. J, so many kings and queens from all over the world, dignitaries. I can't even remember how many I've done in the last few years. I worked with Bobby Zero Hunter, who played with the Globetrotter with Curly Nail, Lemon, Will Chamberlain. So I met a lot of them, and they're amazing people. They do so much for the community and the kids. So I'm coming out with a magazine called Who's Who in Your Neighborhood, the Flavors of Lauderdale. It's going to be mailed to every resident in the city. But it's not just an advertising magazine. It's all about people. Lauderdale's a mom and pop community. And we have some amazing restaurants. The culture that's in our city is amazing. That's why I picked this city when I moved down here in '04. I love what I saw, and I still do. And I'm endorsed by the chamber. I'm recommended by the city. In fact, Vice Mayor Martin did a video about the magazine. And Dr. Oliver from the chamber did one too about the magazine. That the business needs to be part of that. So I'm also a writer besides an artist. And in my magazine, I'm going to have stories about interesting people, I'm going to be taking photos of people in the city. I'm going to be writing. I'm writing a book called Portraits of Hope: More Laughs, Less Tears. It's all about cancer survivors, and that's going to be one printed one is going to be in the printed magazine, and then in the online magazine and website, it's going to be continuing stories of survivors, and every survivor has an amazing story. The first one is called The Gift. It was a friend of mine, 7-year survivor, and when she found out, she said it was a gift because it got her to realize things in her life, to change her life, and she's 73, I can't keep up with her. She's always doing something. So that's going to be in there, and I wrote some other stories that I write. I'm writing a book about being raised in Brooklyn in the 60s and 70s, how different the world is, where the communication, the technology changed us so much. We became lazier. How many phone numbers do you remember today? Exactly. But when you were a kid, you remembered everyone's phone number. Growing up in Brooklyn, I remember how to get to anywhere I needed by bus. I knew all my relatives, my friends' phone numbers by heart. I didn't have to think, didn't have to look in a book. Now I only know maybe 5.
You're still better than me. I just got a new cell phone, and I don't even know how to use it. But I worked in the World Trade Center back then, before all of this. And I worked with a steamship company where you do rates all over the world. And when I get a phone call and they said, rate to Tenerife, I could tell rates, I could tell costs, and I could tell which was good. I don't even know my own phone number now. And don't you tell me that it's old age now.
No. My dad was like that. And my dad remember the old-fashioned flip phones. So my dad would answer the phone, open it up, and they were already talking to him, and he doesn't hear them because the phone's not near him, and they eventually hang up. I'm like, who's there? I said, Dad, as soon as you open it, it answers the phone. You need to talk right away, or they're not going to hear you. They're going to hang up. But the Twin Towers, I did a painting on the Twin Towers after 9/11. That's actually in the New York State Museum in Albany, New York, part of their collection. I don't remember what year where I gave them that. The guy from the museum came down where I lived in Monticello, interviewed me about it. It was a tragedy. I mean, I watched those buildings being built as a kid, and seeing those mantras. I mean, the beams were miles long. When you're a kid, they seem like they were miles long. And my dad used to take us to the city all the time to watch us how it was being built. And then when that came down, that was tragic.
Okay, you're here in Lord Hill, and as an artist, do you plan to have your studio, and if you do?
Well, in my magazine, it's also going to have an online art gallery. So I want to work with local artists, with kids, helping kids realize their potential with art. I taught art classes, and my class is all about an orange is not just an orange. Because when I asked that question to so many artists, young artists, they all tell me the same answer. I said, what do you see when you cut open an orange? They say an orange. I said, no, I asked them 3 times. I get the same answer. I said, you don't see shapes, you don't see colors, you don't see texture. And that orange is a whole new world. Art opens up a whole new world for everybody. It brings laughter, it brings smiles, it brings love to the world. We all need art. So I want to help kids with art. So the art gallery is going to have young kids on there where we can put their artwork on T-shirts and different things, posters, and help them make some money with their art and get them out there.
But of all the things in the world to do, what lead you to be an artist?
At 5 years old, my mom always used to take me every week to the library. We used to get some books to take home, and she used to read me a couple in the library. And one night we went to the library, I got home, and one of the books, I remember this as it was yesterday. It was a book with all different animals in it, And I remember laying down on the rug in the living room. I got this pad that had all different color papers in it, and I started drawing the animals, copying them and drawing them. And I showed them to my mom. She goes, who did that? I said, I did. I was 5 years old. And she goes, wow, that's really amazing. And then my mom got a call from my kindergarten teacher to come in. She wants to speak to her. And I said, I do. I thought I did something wrong. So she took my mom to the back of the room where she hangs up everyone's artwork. She goes, you see this artwork here? And she goes, yes. That's the other kids. That's your son's work. Because you see the difference? She goes, this kid has talent, and he's going to be an artist. The first portrait I did of my grandmother, I was 7 years old. She had that portrait by her side of her bed to the day she passed away. And then my aunt found it and gave it to me, so I have it. That was the first portrait I've done. Now I've done about 500. Kings and queens, you name it, I've done that. So art has always been my passion, but giving back and helping, because I work with the American Cancer Society, and part of the proceeds to my magazine will be donated to them. I've been working with them since I was a kid. My parents always did. So I have that in my blood, I guess.
Okay, last two questions for you. Someone out there hearing this interview right now, and they want to reach out to you. How is it possible?
Give me a call. My number is 954-288-5559. My email is who's who in your neighborhood at yahoo.com. They can email me. They can call me anytime. I don't care if anyone gives out my phone number because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help the local mom and pops, to bring the community together, to tell some interesting stories about people, and do something good for the city. That's all it's about, is giving back.
Well, I've got to take you a little back to sports because I'm from Jamaica but lived in East Flatbush. And I know you are a Yankee fan. What? You are a what?
I'm from Brooklyn. Brooklyn was Mets. The Bronx was Yankees.
Okay, let me give you.
I hate the Yankees.
Let me give you a little story. When I came in from Jamaica, baseball was familiar to me, similar to cricket.
Yes.
I worked in the World Trade Center, and when I go in on a Monday, I was a laughing stock of my company. One, I was a Mets fan. They couldn't win anything. I was a Jets fan. They couldn't win anything. I was the team, the Nets. They couldn't win anything. Here come the loser again. And this year is a disappointment.
I've been a Met fan all my life. We used to go to Shea Stadium all the time by train, with the Cub Scouts, with my parents, with my neighbors. But I did go to Yankees. We had season tickets to the Islanders, the Rangers, the Knicks, the Nets, and we used to go to games all the time. So in the 70s, I was a big basketball and baseball.
Patrick Irving.
I did follow football, but I'm more baseball and basketball.
All right, last question for you. Of all the Mets players, don't tell me Tom Seaver. Who was your favorite player?
Well, from later on, I thought David Wright had everything, but then he got hurt early. I was always a Mike Piazza fan from when he was a Dodger, and I was so excited that he became a Met. And Keith Hernandez. My favorite baseball player of all time is Steve Garvey of the Dodgers. I actually got to meet him a few years back, and I did a portrait of him, and I got to give it to him, and he signed to one of mine, and that was a big thrill for me to actually meet my idol. And he was in the 70s. He still had the big arms, amazing guy. I met a lot of the players back then. I don't think I have one that is my all-time favorite. I mean, I was being in going to games in the 60s and 70s. One of my favorite players was Willie Mays.
Say, hey, kid.
And when he came to New York, that was the biggest thing that New York ever had. Willie Mays coming back to New York. Hank Aaron was another one. Johnny Bench. There's so many back then.
Did you ever go to embassy?
No, that was before my time. My dad did. Oh. That was before my time. Shea Stadium.
We're going to have to cut it short, but it's also a pleasure. And this is your neighborhood. Keep it. Keep it going. Preserve it because it's worthwhile. Thank you so much. So have a good one. All right. From a citizen here in Lord Hill, and you hear the man's passion for greatness. You hear the man's passion for the city of Lord Hill. And I'm going to tell you this. Be who you are, be what you are, but make sure your city is intact. Make sure you give and do everything for the betterment of your city in Lauderhill. And once again, a pleasure to each and every one. You're live and direct on IRITimes.com, your family internet station. And here we are with a brother that I'm familiar with, Brother Ansel. How are you? Where's your boys down there? Right. Sitting down there. All right. Brother Ansel, how are you, sir?
I am pleasantly good.
What are you doing today? You still have your little baseball thing going and all your sports going?
No, I'm moving away from that, and I'm doing bigger things in better places.
Bigger and better things.
I'm
Explain
trying
to me what you mean.
Well, I'm trying to start a group called Look Through My Eyes. It's my own nonprofit, and I'm starting that in Lauderhill, and with the help of one of my best friends I have in the world, retired officer David Banner. Yeah, she helps me a lot, do a lot of stuff, and I met Miss Miggy, wonderful committee. She's helping me too. But what I like to do is help people to survive, like teach them basic stuff about blindness, and try to get the young kids in the community to come out and help clean up the city. That's what I would like to start that project. Being blind for me is nothing new because I've been blind.
Let me just stop you for a while. I don't like the word blind. I'd rather physically impaired.
That's what they call it too still, but you're correct. Well, being vision impaired for me, it makes me more aware about my community. It helps me drive me to do more better because I cannot fix what happened. I only can move on and get a better life going for myself. So if I trust in God and have good people around me, I can do better things. I mean, I got 3 good siblings, 2 brothers, 1 sister, and my service dog Everett. So that moved me along. Blindness to me is good because it's like a job. You do what the Lord tells you to do, and you survive better. So it doesn't stop me; it makes me stronger.
And you don't see the corruption around you. You just hear of it.
Right. Sometimes I do, but then I don't pay it no mind.
Were you born or this way?
I was born totally blind in Jamaica. I've been here since 1977, and when the older I get, I have an eye disease called retinitis pigmentosa. So the more I stay in the sun, I can't see, but it helps me because with people around me, they help me guide where I want to go and different things like that. So it's an enhancement for me to help me build stronger, to help people, and I don't let nothing stop me. I'm like a Timex watch. Keep a licking, keep on ticking.
Where in Jamaica are you from?
I was born in Kingston, Jamaica, Mountain View Avenue. I left there in 1970.
Wait a minute, wait. What number Mountain View Avenue?
72 Mountain View Avenue.
No. You know the Lewis in 72 back then?
No, sir.
You know, Mr. Thomas used to have a little shop under the tree right at the corner there facing Jake's Road?
Maybe. Oh, my God.
You used to sit on the bridge right there?
No, I never did.
Never did. Mr. Levy Church is right there.
God, you in the neighborhood.
That's my address, 72 Mountain View Avenue back there.
My grandfather's restaurant right there in the corner. A big restaurant.
That's going towards Torburn Lane.
Right.
The Chins have the Chinese shop
Yes.
before you get to Saunders Lane.
That's my godmother.
Wow. What a small world. What a small world. So, talking about your plans for whatever you're going to be doing, when would you look to start all of this, or is it already started?
Well, the beat baseball I've done with that now, so I'm starting to look through my eyes, hopefully between now and the beginning of next year, to get things. But what I want to do with that project, not only work with blind people, but other people in the community, like the younger kids, to teach them how to clean up, how to make the community clean, because the more your community clean, the better people got come visiting you. So I started that club before in the school I went to, so I want to do it here.
All right. Super. What's your last name, though?
Davis.
Okay.
Ansel Davis.
Ansel Davis. I should know this by now. I'm trying to picture at Davis in 72. That's why I asked the question. That's why I question. Ansel, always a pleasure, my brother. It's not the first, and certainly will not be the last.
Yeah, and if somebody want to reach out to me to help out, well, they can reach me, Ansel Davis. Phone number is 754-246-7614. And the name of my group is called Look Through My Eyes, or Blind Faith Forever.
That's available on the website.
No, I'm trying to find somebody to help me build a website now, but I need some help with that.
Okay, I'm pretty sure if you speak to the police in Lauderhill, they will help. Officer Debbie, for sure, will find someone to do this. All right? Thank you so much, my brother. Shake my hand and go on doing what you're doing. Like you said, the clock will never stop. You just keep on ticking. All right, have a good one. All right?
Do you have a link to this company, your newspaper?
Yeah. Jimmy, give him one of your cards. Once again, we're live and direct from Wawa at the corner of 441. He'll give you one. He's the station. Once again, we are live and direct at the 441 corner at University at the Wawa gas station. The Lauderdale Police is having their affair there today, and it's a very good crowd. Yeah, it's a very good crowd, and it looks as if time is going on us, and we have to get out of here with this affair. Irytime.com. Irytime.com is your inter-neighborhood internet station, and it's also a 24/7 active station. You need to go on the internet and you need to listen to Irie Times, you need to watch Irie Times, and you need to help to promote Irie Times. And I want to say thanks to Mr. Dreamy Riley for making this possible, and all the other presenters on this station who take their time out and the effort to make this possible. Been with the station for a number of years, and I'm privileged to do the gospel in the mornings from 7 to 10. So tell someone, do something, see something, do something, hear something, say something. Or whatever you're doing, make Lauderdale a proud city. And once again, my name is Mitch, and thank you so much for this opportunity today to be with you, members of the Lauderdale Police Station under the leader of Chief Stanley. I say good morning.